Okay, so I've got my 3DS and Street Fighter here. I'm going to do a little unboxing video and sort of review type thing, just give you like a run through of what's good. So you got typical instructions, Nintendo stuff there. The 3DS, charger, and I'll get it out this time. The little docking cradle, which is, I guess, a nice little accessory. It's okay, it looks a bit flimsy. But what we really want is 3DS. So yeah, this is my 3DS. It's to give some first impressions, but so far it's really nice. I mean, the design of it, etc. It feels a lot sturdier than, say, the DS Lite or the DSi. I know the hinge on this doesn't seem like it's going to break as easy. I know the DS Lite had problems. And although it just feels like a lot better built machine, it doesn't seem like there's any reason to wait for, say, a 3DS Lite or whatever. Because it seems like this is, although it's a next generation DS, it seems more like they've taken everything they've learned over the last 5 years and kind of bundled it into the same machine, with 3D as, I guess, a gimmick, you could say. I mean, right now it's not up to much. The 3D, although it's okay, so here it is again. Despite what I was saying yesterday about the battery life, I guess it wasn't fully charged. It had about a quarter battery when I've had it, and it's been on sleep mode and stuff. So I thought this time we'd show Pokemon on it, see what the backwards compatibility is like. Okay, so here's Pokemon Silver on it. As you can maybe see, don't know if you quite can because of the black interface, but there's just sort of border around the DS games, and although from what I heard they weren't quite as good, it's not actually looking too bad, especially when compared to the launch DS. Well, it's pink, it's not launch, but when compared to the DS Fat, it's a lot sort of more, it's more clear. Like, yeah, I don't think we can quite see it on here, but the screen's gone a lot on these. Whereas, although this is a brand new machine, it's sort of more clear, I guess. It seems like, I guess you could compare it to it being upscaled on a DVD being upscaled on a Blu-ray player. And that's me. And obviously I'm controlling it with the analog stick. You still haven't got any diagonal buttons, so that doesn't work, but it's a lot easier than controlling it with the D-pad, since when playing it normally, your thumb has to go kind of low on the D-pad, which doesn't quite work. So I think using it on the analog stick's a lot just easier. It's got kind of the opposite way to the PSP does, where well, if anyone who's played Monster Hunter, you have to do kind of a claw. So in Super Street Fighter, I'd say it's more of a add-on sort of, but I was playing it in 2D and thinking, oh yeah, the 3D is great, not even realising that it wasn't in 3D, so it's kind of, it wouldn't go, it's not like, it's the main feature, I guess, it wouldn't go amiss. I think they could have sold it as just a DS2 without 3D, although I guess jumping on the 3D bandwagon, and there's my power going low. So as you can see here, I'm comparing it to the original DS Fat, and as you can maybe tell, it's about ½ an inch taller at the top, and you can see the screen. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but the screen's a lot more vibrant, almost like HD compared to SD, and you'd instantly notice the difference in screen size. And I've just got a text. And I think you can best see the difference here. But even though the DS, the 3DS, has got kind of this sandwich thing going on that makes it a bit fatter, it's still almost as thick as the DS Fat's bottom on its own. So it's just a lot more portable. I was surprised at first because I thought, well, I assumed that the 3DS would be bigger. And I thought first impressions were that it was bigger, but when you compare it, obviously you can see that's not the case. And I've got a PSP here. So as you can see as well, there's a big difference between this and the PSP. Now you can quite see it, but the screen on the 3DS, about as, about maybe half an inch smaller. And I can't compare it to my iPod because I'm filming on my iPod. But if you compare it to my Android, bit bigger, and it's also just a tad bigger than the iPod screen, or iPod/iPhone. So, as you can see, I was worried about cases and stuff because I've got a cool Pokemon case here that I got with my DSi, and I was worried that it wouldn't fit, but obviously that's not the case because it's smaller. I think it's even maybe smaller than the DS Lite. I know it's at least smaller that way. Whether it's smaller in thickness, I don't know, but... Okay, so finally, I'm going to wrap this up here. I've got my DS charged in its cradle, which is actually quite nice when it's in it. It's kind of, although it's not kind of gripped in, I guess. I don't quite know how it charges, but it does it well. So yeah, finally we've got activity log here. I don't know how many people are actually interested in this, but I thought it was a pretty cool feature when I was going through it. So yeah, as you can see, we've got daily records here. That's my pedometer. I turned that on the way home. 7,000 miles, 7,000 steps. I don't think that's quite right. I'm not sure how off that actually is. It seems a bit excessive for how far I walked. And then you got the software library here, which surprisingly is added Pokemon, which is actually quite cool. I didn't think it'd do that with original DS games. Well, I say original. And yeah, so you've got everything I've played, despite the fact I've only actually got one game. Mii Maker, that doesn't quite work as advertised, especially if you've got glasses on. I'd recommend, if you've got glasses on, taking them off before you actually do it, because it seems to take a while with me. DS Sound, that's whatever, no one's using an MP3 player. Face Raiders, that's a decent game. I was playing it on the bus. It seemed very intuitive with how it sort of, it took in the environment, I guess. It wasn't phased by the fact that I was on A, a moving bus, and B, parts of it were actually looking out the window with people walking past and things like that. AR games, they're surprisingly good. I'd almost recommend getting the 3DS if you don't like launch games and just playing the AR games. They're incredibly fun. Camera, I was trying that. It's kind of I'm not entirely sure how it works, I guess. I tried doing it, with the typical handout, it's in 3D kind of thing, but the picture just kind of didn't work. I did it with like a finger pointing out, and when put in 3D, it just kind of deleted my finger. So yeah, you got the activity log, I guess that's a game, settings and stuff like that. So yeah, and that's me done for now. If you've got anything else that you want me to cover, you want to find out before the US launch, or just anyway, I'll be happy to find this out for you. Just send me a message on Twitter @PokeCookie, or leave a message in the comments. Thank you.